We start the podcast the same way every time.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Are you
for
ready?
It. Yeah. 3,
2.
1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Talking Stone podcast. I'm once again joined by the great John Silk, our glorious co-host.
You just said glorious. I was out last week, last week that it was released, and then it was like, it was the same thing.
Last episode.
Last episode, I was out because I wasn't feeling the greatest, and I thought it'd be hilarious to put my girlfriend in the format of, a open forum talking, for a mid to long period of time for her. Because usually
she was great.
Yeah. No, I think they did both really good. Like they adjusted themselves about halfway through. They felt confident about it. It looked great. Yeah.
So let's just dive right back into the good old flow of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Rose, bud, and thorn. Again, I like to explain this for the viewers at home who may not be familiar. A rose is something you're just really happy about this week. A bud is something you're looking forward to. And a thorn is just something, wasn't great. So, John, you have the floor.
I will start with my bud. I'm looking forward to spring break starting this weekend and being done with midterms. Even though one of my midterms will be after. Actually, that'll be my thorn. Rolling into my thorn, I have a midterm after break.
Mm-hmm.
We go on break. I brain rot for a week, and they're like, hey, come back. We're doing it again.
That's
And
unfortunate.
It really is a thorn. No, but the bud's going to be going home and spending a few days in Florida with my girlfriend and then visiting her with her family. And then I'll be back for a hockey game on next Thursday, which I'm excited about. So, excited to be home with my family and spend time with the ones I care about.
So, this doesn't count as my thorn. I just want to make a clarification. It is really cold right now where we're filming. It is snowing, actually.
30 degrees as of now.
My nose is a little stuffy, so if you hear me like...
You're from further north than me.
Well, exactly. That's why my nose is getting stuffy. I'm not sick. It's just, clogging the holes.
No, you should be more used to this, right?
I am used to this.
Then why is you clogging the holes?
Because that's how my body, keeps me warm. It's whatever. The details. Anyway, my nose is a little...
I don't want to hear about your bodily functions, yeah.
My nose is a little stuffy, so I apologize if you hear any...
Yeah, Scott's been mouth breathing all day, and we've been bothered by it.
Uh-huh. Anyway, but let's talk about the rose. The rose is actually, normally I say it's the podcast and we're filming, but today it's because it's snowing. I love the snow.
I thought it was your thorn.
No.
The cold is your thorn.
No, there was no thorn. I was giving a disclaimer.
Oh. They didn't know that.
I said this is not my thorn, but disclaimer. My nose is clogged.
It's snowing outside, guys.
But it's snowing outside, and I am so happy about it. I love snow. It's my favorite weather. Put down the bingo sheet. You know what would be a cool thing? If we make
the Talking Stone bingo sheet.
Every episode, we put a bingo sheet out, and we just put
I'll
our
have the
habits.
social media coordinator do that.
That'd be really funny.
What, the social media coordinator that we don't have, or the bingo sheet?
We're working on the last one, but the bingo sheet would be fun.
I think we can do both. Yeah.
My thorn. We'll talk about that. My thorn this week. One of the cameras didn't work, and that was annoying. I had to run down to the control room and not the control room, the equipment room, and get that. So, but hey, we got that A, B, C, D. D. We don't have a D shot, but we have a ABCD shot. Never mind. I'm gonna just shut up.
ABC.
ABC.
Liquor store.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Liquor store.
I don't know.
Okay. And then finally, my bud. I'm going on tour next week. So when this episode is released, I'll be somewhere randomly in North Carolina singing.
Woo! Scott going on tour.
And that's exciting. So that's probably my bud. So
I wish it was just you going on tour, but he's going with a choir.
I am going with a choir.
You say I'm going on tour. That's the exact same way I would frame it too. I'd be like, I'm going on tour. If only that were the case.
Well,
so if your adoring fans want to see you, which locations could they go see you, Scott?
There's a lot of different places.
Name the top 3.
We're going to Raleigh, Asheville, and Charlotte. We're going from the east coast of North Carolina all the way inland.
Nice.
So-
Exciting.
We're stopping at like 17 high schools, 13 churches.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It's gonna be great.
I'm very excited.
I saw the repertoire of songs you guys got.
17 songs.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. You know.
It's a lot of work, but you
Mhm.
know, it's all right. I have most of them
Yeah,
memorized.
there you go. That's what you get for being skilled or something like that. I don't know.
Well, we've been practicing all year,
Yeah.
But-
That is true. You guys started first semester.
but some
Yeah,
songs
yeah.
we did learn in like a week.
Yep.
So
No, this past January has been hell for the choir
we're
department. Music.
zooming.
Music entirely too, actually.
I mean, we have so
Entire.
much stuff to do.
Yep.
Like for example, the concert last week. It was we learned all that music in 2 weeks.
Yep.
I think maybe 3 weeks, but still not enough time.
Yeah, but we're proud of you. So I think we're gonna get into our topic today of public forums.
Yes, and this time you're gonna be having complete control because I don't know much about public forums.
So I think I've discussed before that what a public forum kind of is. Maybe on the podcast, maybe not. But if I have, then you can find that somewhere on an episode where I'm there. If you haven't, then I'll discuss that today. I'll run that back. So a public forum is a place like exactly like this. We're putting ourselves out there on the internet or in person, let's say at a convention or something. And that's what this is an example of, is this is a public forum, like YouTube. Social media is a public forum. Anyone that can view something publicly is a public forum. Now, the root of this word comes from the Latin term forum. It's the same thing, yeah.
You're hitting me with the roots.
But the Romans had a forum where they would do trading, market. They would, again, exactly like social media. You can promote a company there. You can put advertisement out. Or it's just a place for you to share your thoughts. Preachers, evangelicals. Someone can go out there and say, something religious like "The Lord is coming today, and you must repent." Like you can do any kind of thing in a forum, and it's a open area for public speech. Really, is what it is. I hope I did well explaining that. I can't be for sure because I'm just kind of.
I think that was a good definition. From my understanding, it's just a place where I could get up on my soapbox and say what I want to say.
Yes, that's a great. Because you say that, and I think of the song that Ed Sheeran wrote. I don't know. I'm not gonna sing it because YouTube. Yeah, YouTube doesn't like us when we do that. Copyright. Yeah.
Copyright. But
It was the song. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, What Do I Know? Ed Sheeran. What do I know?
I do know that song. Okay.
What Do I Know by Ed Sheeran, and I love that song because the message is so simple and the beat is so simple, and it's a really fun song. I think it describes really well, what someone trying to be in a public forum is kind of like, actually. I think that really rolls well, that song. What do I know? I'm going to go out there, share what I have, and see what people think. If they like it, booyah, you got it. It's like, it's really an open-ended area where you can do anything. Like there's several kinds of forums, like, again, YouTube and social media are a very big part of that open forum area. Like you can think of Meta, anything that would be somewhere to share something. And I think what we really need to talk about is forums in different forms, because us as Gen Z are really only used to the social media type. We grew up with social media. It was brand new when we were like, say, toddlers. And, it developed as we grew up too. So we kind of grew right alongside it. And I think I don't know if it's peaking or it's at zenith. I think it's only going to keep growing with new technologies. But what we need to learn about is the other kind of forms of a forum there is. I really have to enunciate here because
people are gonna think you're saying foam.
Yeah,
and
there
that's
you go.
not. It's not what you're saying.
Fum. Yeah, there we go.
I declare a thumb war. No.
Oh, okay.
It
Are we doing this?
But so, what exactly do you want to talk about?
So the different types of forums there are. So we know about the social media one, obviously, like I just discussed. We grew up with it. It grew with us.
I'm canonically bad at it.
And then there's also like a convention of some sort. And, they could be, ranging from political to civil to, economical. Like there's an economic forum, a security conference that was just happened in Munich not too long ago. There were several talkers from around Europe and around the world, in fact, to discuss security about, the future of Europe, future of US, future of all sorts of things. And then there's also this forum called the ARC. It's called the Oh, what was it? Do you remember what it was for?
It
It was
was
like responsible citizenship or something.
Association of Responsible Citizens.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what the A means.
Look it up. But I think it was their second forum. I think they started up in 2023. And it's like the Forum for Responsible Citizens is what I think it was. It's ARC is the acronym.
Or it is the Alliance for Responsible
Alliance for
Citizenship.
Responsible Citizenship. Yeah. And they had their second convention, I think maybe, and because they just started up. And it's just a global organization for leaders to come and speak their mind about what a model citizen should look like. You know, if direct democracies, republics, and, you know, liberal states are going to include citizens in decision making, we should all be well educated, I feel like, in, you know, what that looks like. And I think this is a really good place to do that. And that's an open forum. That's what these leaders can share, their perspective of what responsible citizenship looks like.
So, in your opinion, what is a responsible citizen?
Someone that does their civic duty, I think, is the base definition, is what you could really say. But I think, to the higher degree, is someone that is a role model. Because responsible citizenship isn't just simply, you know, being a citizen and doing your duty. Oh, say, I voted. That's not being a responsible citizen. That's doing your civic duty. And that's, you know, that distinction's been made before by several, I bet, civics teachers or government teachers across America. You know, personally, from what I've learned, I know it's my civic duty to go and vote. I don't have to. It's a duty. They hate me for it when I don't do it. They love me when I do it. I don't know.
I definitely think voting is your responsibility as a citizen here in this country. But is there any traits of a responsible citizen that transcends country lines? Like, what makes you a responsible citizen of the world?
Ethics.
Ethics.
Ethics, I think, is really morality and ethics, I think, are good. I wouldn't combine the two because they are separate entities, but, you know, together, if you can have just one of those on either side, you know, like, say a building's on fire and you have to evacuate. There was, like, you're burned, you've got smoke in your eyes, but you hear a baby crying. Being a responsible citizen is running back in there. Now, this is, again, an extreme example of being a responsible citizen and being, you know, a good person. But I think it's just, you know, you hear the baby crying, and instead of saving yourself, you know, you're already hurt. And instead of saving yourself, you go back and you look for that person. I really would relate it to, you know, the shepherd looking for the one lost sheep out of the 99. He's got 100 sheep, but he's lost one. He's got to find it. It's not that you have 100 sheep and you're trying to look for them, but you have several responsibilities throughout the day. And people, I imagine, that rely on you to be a working part of a machine. And if you're the part that isn't there, the machine won't work fully. It won't be working at full capacity, or something will be missing, and they'll feel that. Whether they feel it, you know, with anger, or they feel it with love or compassion, they understand your situation, or they're upset about your situation.
But what if you don't fit into that machine?
Well, there's another machine out there for you. I think is really the simple way to put it. You know, forums give an opportunity. Like, here's another one, LinkedIn. For people to put their resumes out there, show what they've done, show what they can do, and try to find, you know, their machine, find what they fit into and what they click into. You know, the gears rotate once you've clicked into it, and I think it can really be advantageous to have these public forums.
Very curious. So,
you're really trying to pull your beard out right now, and it ain't happening.
No, what I'm trying to think is, from how you phrased it, I'm not sure if I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think a citizen's duty is exactly to fit into whatever machine they're assigned to.
Well, that's the difference between the duty and the responsibility. Responsibility is showing that you can go that extra mile, that extra level, I believe. You know, saying I'm responsible by doing what you're told to do isn't really responsibility, because you're not taking initiative on your own. You're waiting for someone to tell you to do that thing. You're kind of just taking orders. And that's being part of the machine. But being responsible is taking that leadership role, being, hey, this person didn't do their work and they're going to wait till the next day, and by then it'll be too late. You know, something will have happened. So I'll do their work. Whether you get recognition for it or not isn't, you know, my concern to talk about right now. It's more of the fact that you did the work, you took that responsibility on. Having a civic duty is going to vote. You know, the government tells you it's, you know, go to vote, and that's your civic duty. But your responsibility is different than that. There's two separate things there.
I guess your responsibility in voting would be to vote for the person you believe who could run the country better,
Yes.
and do research and not just vote whatever you want.
And that's your yeah.
Oh,
that's
not
your,
vote whatever your group wants. You know,
and
Vote-
that's your duty. Whatever stands best for your community. Because
But,
I feel
like-
like we really communitize. You know, when you think about that, everything is based down to the community level. What is best for your community? Because people don't think too big outside their community, and people who do, they've got ambition, and more props to them.
to go
Someone's
back
gotta-
to what
yeah.
you said, because I'm still hung up on this machine
Mhm.
thing.
You like the cog in the machine, yeah.
I don't think I'm a cog in the machine, to be truthful. I think a lot of people are not cogs in the machine.
You
I
think
mean,
I
you
am?
have. I mean, I don't think you are either. I think a lot of people, at least in my life, are marching to the beat of their own drum, and what society wants them to do or asks of them could be donned. You know, it's interesting because I don't think people in general want to be a cog in the machine.
Mhm.
It happens, but most people break out of that machine, I feel like, because being told exactly what to do, that's no way to live.
Well, that's what the first, say 12 years of your education are. From kindergarten to the end of college, unless you're doing an independent research class, you're getting told what to do and how to do it. Like, not exactly how to do it, but you're getting told what to do. And I guess that's the rest of your life. You're going to work a job if you go to corporate, sure. But if you start up a small business, then you could have a little more control of yourself. But I really think there's a big break that we are still cogs in the machine. No matter what we do, we're all part of a machine and it's working. And the machine isn't, some corporation trying to take over the world or, lose their minds on something. It's humanity. You're the cog of machine of humanity for innovation, for economic motivation, for inspiration. To be completely frank, I see it, detrimental to the community when you don't believe yourself in a cog in a machine. You all work together to make the benefit of the community happen. Because you live together, society. We're social creatures. We have to live together. If we didn't live together, we'd lose our minds. I would.
Again, social butterfly. It's kind of why I have so many people on the show. But I definitely think you need to do your part in your community. I'm not saying, hey, go become a hermit and live in the forest.
Yes.
But I guess personally, I don't like the thought of being a cog in the machine.
It's not a pretty thought. I agree with you. Because when you think of a cog, when you think of a machine, you're thinking in a factory. This factory is old. It's disgusting because you think about the Industrial Revolution. And that's just your psychological, what we've been taught in schools is that we want to understand that kind of thing as this picture we can put in our head of you're a cog in a machine. It's a sweatshop. It's terrible conditions. It's ugly. But you got to think of it as a beautiful machine, a machine of people working together for one unified purpose. And we don't all know what that purpose is because, we're soul searching for it, truthfully. And I think a really good way to share our thoughts of what that could be is an open public forum. To help round it all out, I really believe, it's up and down, side to side.
Left and right.
Yeah. We're all cogs in the machine.
But-
And it's not about accepting that. It's more about knowing your part in humanity's, society.
So, all right. You're a cog in the machine. I'm
Yeah.
a cog in the machine.
Yes.
How do I change my responsibilities to the machine? Because what if I don't want to be doing this role?
Oh, you won't be doing the same role forever. And that happens with age. And this is still the same staying, good Lord, with the same analogy. Say your part doesn't move, say it is just a part, doesn't move at all. It gets older and it slows down a little, but there's a new part that gets placed in that can carry the workload and you're getting pushed along.
But what happens to you? The
Your little cog goes into retirement and you get to sit the rest of your days in a nice retirement home.
But you see, if I was that cog, I wouldn't be happy. I don't want to be in the retirement home.
Well, the
when I'm
machine
older.
doesn't care if you're happy.
You see, there we go. Now you're running into my problems with the machine. It doesn't care about you, the individual.
Or your community does. The parts around you do. The cog that is, my friends, care about how I'm doing, I hope. It's not always a guarantee, but I hope they care about how I'm doing. And, we uplift each other. Think of it as this. It's a wall of gears, and they have to rotate to lift each other up.
Okay.
And that's the trajectory of this machine. It's an elevator, it's going up. But to make us go all the way up, we all have to continue rotating. And some get pushed ahead of others. Some get moved, and that's how it works. because they're wheels, they're gears, they're cogs. They turn and they go up. Think of it like that. We're always trying to uplift one another, whether we accidentally put someone down, or we misinterpret something that someone said, so we push them down further. Mistakes can be made. We're humans, and it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that really just open area of cogs moving upward, or really what we're trying to achieve, is this goal in humanity, which we don't understand yet. We're just going up.
So what you're saying, again, to keep this analogy of being in this factory,
Sure.
the machine doesn't care about you,
No.
but the cogs do.
Yes. Because the machine is just going to produce the final product. I have no idea what the final product is, and we're getting way too in depth for me to even to comprehend this. And sharing your thoughts open-mindedly about something like this can be really healthy, or it can make you lose your mind for the next few hours.
And we could talk for hours about this.
Probably.
I just think it's a very interesting concept because
What, the forum or the cog in the machine?
the cog in the machine. This is the thing I'm stuck on.
But the forum.
With the forum. I mean,
If you relate your question back to a forum, I think we can have a good episode.
am I getting too deep? Am I digging too deep?
Well, when you start with the topic and then you move away from the topic.
Well, that's how conversation works.
The
I
shoe
think that goes-
grabber is what it is now.
I guess to go back to public forums, because that's what you
Sure.
really want to talk about. I think this is like you said, this is a public forum, and we were talking about public forums, and the public forum brought us to a new land where we are really starting to dig
Yeah.
deep, and that's
Mhm.
okay.
And that's what that free thought's about. We want the public forums are supposed to bring us to those kinds of thoughts. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. How dare you hit your mic?
Whoops.
We didn't do anything wrong. That's exactly where it was supposed to take us. I started a topic about public forum, and it rolled into us being cogs in a machine. Think about that. What an open forum, what a concept can be done when you post something online, when you say something at a convention with thousands of people listening. Think about that. The impact you have for every word you say can be the difference between life or death.
Yeah, actually,
Mm-hmm.
because we have the power to inspire, and we have the power to diffuse, but we also have the power to amplify. We can amplify anger. We can amplify joy. We can amplify so many different ideas, thoughts, beliefs, good,
It
bad.
can be mutated too.
Yes.
You could start as joy and it can end as anger. It can be very quickly changed between both. Now, example of that I'm not too sure on, but you've probably seen it at home. Say, you're really excited about something and then someone just pipes in and says something that, ruins oh, there's someone in behind that costume, Chuck E. Cheese. That's a person wearing a costume. That's not a freaking mouse. It's
Oh,
just,
Santa. Santa's another good
Santa
example.
ain't real.
Which he is real.
Yes, he is.
I am a firm believer in Santa. But it really goes to show how much power your voice has and how much beauty your voice has, because you have the power to change the world. You just need to know what to say, where to say it, and when to say it. Those 3 W's. Right?
Where, when, why?
Well, not why.
What?
But what did I say?
I don't know. We're on too many W's. I'm up to 7 now.
I said
Wait, when, where, how, who,
and I guess
why.
WWH.
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
Right? What?
WWJD. That's what would Jesus do. What did we get?
World Wide Web. That's a forum.
That's a forum. Yeah.
Relating it back to the forums. Woo!
We're getting a little distracted.
No, we're not.
But I just think humans and their ability to create, beautiful.
Yeah. We can create destruction or we can create life. It's great.
It's really great.
And it's a yin-yang kind of relationship too.
It's just the power humans have to change their surroundings, I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm very curious what you think the limit on that is. How much
human power to create?
Yeah.
See, that's philosophical.
That's a philosophical question. That's why we're here. That's what we want to talk about.
So I think a really good way of framing the power that humans have to create is to talk about first, what can we take?
Mm-hmm.
We can take life. We can destroy a building. We can remove landmarks. Say imagine one day Stonehenge got removed, and that's a landmark. We can remove it. We can destroy rocks.
Yeah.
But to think about the significance of that, what can we take? If we can take it, we can just as easily create it. Think about the baby boom right after a war. Think about that. We started with destruction. We ended with creation of millions of new lives. I think the power is not limitless, but it is almost impossibly limitless, I think is what I would say.
Do you think maybe millions of years in the future, humans will be able to be traveling intergalactically and all that
Yes.
fun stuff?
Yes.
You do?
There will unfortunately be several regressions between now and then, but it's not like we're going to go back to the caveman days. We're not going to, all explode the earth because of carbon, pollution. Earth's life is like a cycle. So I believe us to be in that cycle somewhere along the lines. And at this rate, I'm not taking science for its word. I'm not taking religion for its word or whatever the, propaganda tells you nowadays. I'm trying to believe what I know to be true is I'm a living being on a planet that can grow life. So I have to believe some part of this planet is alive. And to put that in perspective is, to think it's just going through its life cycle. This stuff's going to happen up and down. Like, of course, we're having some sort of footprint and impact on it. But, when we allegedly landed on the moon, we left a footprint. We left footprints up there, and they didn't go away allegedly. I don't know. I've never been to space. Again, you tell me otherwise.
I think there's going to be a moon base within our lifetime.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's probably gonna be a moon colony within our lifetime. I believe it. I would be down to go to the moon if we could prove that this was like they had safe habitation up there. I'd be totally down to go do it. Now again, everything's risky, but think about how the first colonists came to America.
Oh yeah, forget about it.
Yeah, forget about going to. Don't even think about going to the moon. Like we're just trying to push new frontiers. And I think that's our limit to create. How far are we willing to push ourselves? That's another big one. Impossibly limitless. Scott.
What would you do with the moon?
What would I do with it?
Would you make it real estate? Would you make it a factory
no.
place? Would
No,
you
it would be-
turn into a billboard?
The moon is a place to propel ourselves to the future. I mean that in the literal, mental, and the physical sense. Think about that. The gravity is so much less on the moon when you jump. You've seen some of the videos, and that part I believe. I believe we can scientifically say that there's data to prove, that gravity is less there because it's not as big, it's not as dense, and the gravity isn't pulling as much. So imagine if we launched a rocket from the moon. How far could we go with that amount of fuel? We're not burning half as much, as we are in Earth's atmosphere trying to get out of here. On the moon, we just
go.
Yep. How quickly could we get to Mars with that kind of burn? Think about that.
And
People
how much
say-
further can you go?
Yep.
That's
well,
a fair.
well, we would want to, obviously start with people going to planets and send the satellites out further to find out what's out there. But yeah, no, absolutely. We would become a intersolar system society before we started looking at intergalactic.
So you think the moon should be like a
It'll-
launch
they'll-
pad
Launch pad. Yep. I mean that in I
in a
don't-
literal sense?
Yes. I mean, there could be, I'm open to some jobs, and maybe if we really need to put some real estate up there and some housing for people, I don't think we need, much more than that. I think housing, shops, and, hopefully society innovates to the point that that's possible. I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetimes. That I'm more concerned about. We'll see a moon base for sure, but that's going to be, a government military operation. If we privatize that, imagine what that would look like. Like think
A
about
giant billboard on the moon.
of Elon Musk face. Yeah, apparently. It would be Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But he's got his little, wiener rocket going up there.
But on that note, we have explored the moon. We've explored being a cog in the machine. We've talked about talking publicly. And we've come-
Forums is what it's called, Scott.
Ah, yes. But we've come to the end of the episode.
I think that's a really good place to leave off. We're on the moon.
Yeah. We're on the moon, man. So I've been Scott, your host. Ooh,
Yay!
that was a pathetic high.
It's because this
pathetic
table is
high
so
five.
weird. No, this isn't our fault. This table is weird. No, hang on. This table. What the heck? I'm picking the audio, but I don't care.
You're not picking it, actually.
Okay, good. I'm
I'm
so
very
glad
good
I'm
at
not
audio.
picking. Yeah, but we've run out of time. This table, what the heck? Scott, Thank you so much for joining me today about talking forums and you asking me all these sort of questions.
No problem. You know, it's my job. I love asking questions. It's
I
my
love
show.
answering them because I talk a lot, and that's why Scott has me here. It's not that I'm good at what I do; it's just I talk a lot.
I'm Scott. You can find me at the Talking Stone Podcast. John, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at @thejohnsilk or LinkedIn at John Silk.
At John Silk. And I hope everyone has a great evening, night, day, morning, whatever time it is. Have a good one. Also, I love you.
And wherever you are, good morning, good night, and good afternoon. I know I said that the right way around. Trust me.
It's okay. We're done.